So, ladies, your fifth album, Music in the Madness, it's coming on March 10th. The latest track that people can stream and download now early is a song called Next to You. A very, inspirational, uplifting song. Can you tell me a bit about how this one came together?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we wanted with that song. It's all about that person that you just love to do everything with. Like when you've been used to being independent and doing things on your own, and you meet that person, or it could be a best friend, a sister, a dog, your partner, whoever, that you just like, it's just highlight, you go away and it's just a better trip with that person, or it's a better day with that person.
Mhm.
Um, and so we just wanted to create a really feel good music video um, to kind of express that. And I think the little teddy bear music video is just quite a sweet kind of being in touch with your childhood self, way of kind of expressing that feeling of company and companionship.
Your music videos over the years, they have got more artistic and they last longer now in the memory. Is that something you've become more involved in over the course of time?
Yeah, I think it's just as we've gone through the writing process and the recording process and grown as people, we've just sort of
Mhm.
continued to grow as music um, creators. It's
Okay.
like I guess the natural course.
We're at different stages as well. We're
Yeah.
28 now. So when we first started out, we were 17, so we're completely different people. So I mean, the topics of what we're going to write about is going to naturally change wherever we are in our lives.
Now, the previous release from the album, Love by You, I mean, for me, it doesn't get any better whenever you guys just strip it way back and just let, the harmonies take center stage. Um, I believe your father is a big fan of that song.
Love by
He
you.
is.
Yeah.
I remember we put that out on social media. It's funny, we should tell him that he's been mentioned a lot because
Mhm.
he heard that song when we first came back to Nashville, and we had a demo, like a little link of all of our demos, and he just kept pulling that one out and kept being like, this is the song, this is the song. And obviously no one knows what any song is going to do. You just got to try and write the good songs. But it is interesting that he very much set his sights on that song, which it'd be good to see if anyone else has the same
It's funny because it's a
reaction.
real raw love song. That song, it's a really
Mhm.
kind of emotional raw love song. And our dad is always, he's not like that. He's quite like,
Yeah,
he's quite cynical, and he's, so it's quite funny that he connected with that song in
yeah.
particular.
Lovely.
Um, so yeah.
And the title track from the album, Music in the Madness itself, you wrote that in Nashville with Rebecca Powell and Jessica Sharman. And
Yes.
tell me a bit about, which I find interesting, how the war in the Ukraine overall influenced the themes of this record.
I think it was everything. It was a pandemic. It was the war in Ukraine. I think it's the world has gone through a lot of chaos and a lot of pain in the last couple of years.
Mhm.
Um, and I remember we were in Nashville at the time when the war had broken out, and we both felt really far away from home. We felt like, oh God, like it's so awful for these poor people, like who are just fighting for their country. And we saw loads of different examples of love and just kind of humanity within the whole, what, like the everything going on. We saw things on social media of a couple getting married on the front line. We saw and there was fires going on in California as well at the time, and we
Mhm.
saw there was this guy driving a tractor trying to save a whole village, through literally driving it through fire to save a whole village. And so we were just incredibly inspired by all this kind of love shining through such chaos. And then when the world is going crazy and it's in a dark place, you can see that like love in its best and
Mm,
its strongest, like full on. So
yeah.
we were incredibly inspired. And so we wrote that song, Music in the Madness. And we wanted people to feel uplifted and together
Mhm.
within that song. And then the whole album was kind of followed that similar kind of theme because of how passionate we both are about it.
And Justice and Mercy, that's got a lovely, almost Americana feel to it. Um, Tell me a bit about that one because I know you, in particular, you're fans of the likes of Brandy Carlisle.
Yeah,
We
love
are
her.
massive Brady Carlisle fans. We think she is an absolute icon and a legend. Justice and Mercy was a lot of fun because we wrote that with very little expectations. We wanted to write a story song. We set out to write a country song.
Mhm.
we listen to a lot of true crime. Like every other woman, apparently, it's a very popular thing. And we decided to write a story about a criminal. And the thing that kept coming up in the songwriting session was the conversation between justice and mercy, and when you feel merciful and when you feel that justice needs to be served. And it sort of split the room. We were sort of either team justice, that man needs justice, this fictional character needs justice, or it was maybe mercifully, this guy just is an awful person and he needs to just disappear.
Well, no, people like praying for his soul.
Praying for his soul, exactly. And so the story goes as he starts from a very young age, showing signs of being a bad guy from the beginning.
He's abandoned, his mum goes off, and all that kind of stuff.
And then from the beginning all the way to the end, you follow his life, and then he ends up getting hit by a lightning bolt. So justice and mercy is served.
We tried to list all the bad things. He was he was like a thief, a murderer, everything. He was just a complete evil character within the song.
And then when we recorded it, we brought it home to record, and we recorded it with our band. And it just felt very earthy and Americana when we put it down, and it was like, this is exactly how it should be.
Yeah, Western kind of.
Yes, I love the drums running through it. It's like a train.
Yes, it literally is. And I imagine it to be in the sort of Prohibition times, 1920s, when you can't sort of find out where this man is going from town to town.
And I imagine it to be in the 1800s in the Wild West of America, this guy on horseback, just ruining everyone's lives wherever he goes.
I love the fact that your music has so much depth and so many layers to it. And it's interesting that, you write so much in Nashville, and then so much of the music coming out of there is just about beer, trucks, and whiskey.
Well, I know we do make a conscious effort when we're writing there to not be, there's obviously a place for beer, trucks, and whiskey. Neither of us are really beers or whiskey drinkers, and we don't drive trucks, so it just never felt that authentic to us.
Did anybody, or was there ever at any point in the career so far, was there ever any sort of, I wouldn't use the word pressure, but people saying, well, this is what, if you want to crack America, this is what works, lean into that?
Yeah, I think people have told us that in the past, to kind of get on more kind of Nashville playlists and stuff. We've got to write some more songs that kind of people in America can relate to. But it's not, it's more our sound rather than the topics, because a lot of the topics that we write about, I think a lot of people can relate to all around, but because it's all kind of about every life.
And also, I think as well, when it comes to cracking America or cracking anywhere, you can be given a list of criteria to follow, and none of it works.
Yeah.
So we sort of decided a while ago that instead of doing that, we're just going to write what we know, write the best music that we can, and hope that it does work anyway, because you just can't control it anyway.
Well, speaking of the US, there's a lovely cover on there of America, originally recorded by Razorlight. And because these days I live in such a country bubble, it's been that long since I've heard that song that I love it. What made you want to record that one?
Well, actually, we were recording a few covers at the time, and that one actually just worked the best, weirdly, because it's a kind of song that you wouldn't think that Ward Thomas would cover, because it's a very different genre. But we actually did listen to a lot of that music when we were teenagers. And it came back up again, and it just, the harmonies, it was just, we love kind of taking a very different song and making it our own. It's a good challenge, and it just seemed to work. And actually, I think it was the guy we produced that with, Jonathan Cornby, it was one of his ideas, and it worked really well. So we love it when other people suggest ideas to us as well, because that we wouldn't necessarily go towards, because it gives us a different challenge.
Yeah, I'm interested. You worked with Ed Harcourt, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about that guy, because I find him interesting. What do you think he was able to sort of capture and develop within your sound?
He sort of very much approaches music in a very authentic and organic way, which is what we really liked about him when we started to work with him. He wants it to be real, he wants it to feel natural, and he wants the song to speak for itself.
And all in the room.
And that felt very Nashville to us. So we originally started working with him, and we had written a song with him, and we were talking to him about the album, and he was like, so who do you normally get to record the music with you? And we were like, oh, well, we kind of normally follow the producer and see what they say. And he said, well, why not just get your band in, you know them? And by this point, we'd been playing with our band for years now, and we've refined the band. Like, we've got our absolute like ride or die guys with us now. And they came in and recorded it with us in a studio in London, all in the room, very much like Nashville. And that was very much driven by Ed. So it was a nice change to record the album that way.
And you can hear our chemistry with the boys. You know, we're all best mates. You can hear that in the room, the energy and the chemistry. And and also Ed is he's also got an edge to him. He's very eccentric in lots of ways, in a really good way. And we were like, we've got to take Justice and Mercy to Ed, because he could make this really interesting sounding.
Yeah.
And so that worked really well. It was really fun to work with Ed.
Cool. Now, the last album, Invitation, Catherine, we've spoke before about that, because of the pandemic, was made over Zoom and email. So, you know, how great was it, particularly for a group that writes so much in Nashville, and you need to be in there and immerse yourself in that place. So, how great was it to return to the traditional way of making music?
Oh, it was so nice. And I think we almost didn't realize how good it was before until we took some time away from it. And we've definitely made up for our lost time in Nashville. We've been going back a lot since the lockdowns were lifted. And just recording with people and bouncing off ideas and going, oh, how about this? And how about this? It definitely gives you a way better outcome than when it's all via email and Zoom, like you said.
And you recently announced that yourself and your husband are expecting a baby. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be quite pregnant when we hit the road in like 29 days today, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, so we're very excited. It's going to be a very busy year with an album, a tour, a baby. We're also having a renovation. It's just a bit, everything happens all at once, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're touring this year as a trio.
Yeah.
And so you got married last year, and Lizzie, I believe you wrote and recorded a song that was played at the wedding. Will we ever hear that?
Yeah, I think we should definitely release it.
Yeah.
It's a very, very emotional song, because as twins, Catherine and I have experienced all big moments in life together, and we've gone through a lot of we've literally experienced everything together. And watching Catherine getting married was a really emotional and incredible experience for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was my speech for Catherine's wedding.
Yeah. She had to record it though, and
I couldn't sing it live. No.
Yeah.
Otherwise I burst into tears because it was too emotional.
So you're performing at C2C in London this year, and then at the end of March, you're heading out on another tour. And I mean, you must be just buzzing about bringing the new album to the stage.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it all come up so fast as well. We're like, oh, I feel like we're playing catch up, because oh my God, the C2C is only in like 2 weeks, and so is our album. So yeah, it's all come up very fast, and so we're so excited for everyone to hear the album. It's kind of nervous. We're both nervous and excited as well, because it's like, oh, is this gonna work? Are people gonna turn up to our shows on tour? It's mixed with excitement and anticipation all the time whenever we're in this
That's so funny though, that 5 albums in and with such a loyal fan base, you would still be even slightly apprehensive.
Oh, I think it just comes with the territory. You're putting something out into the world and you don't know if anyone's going to like it.
Yeah.
And you just have to sort of surrender some of your control and just hope for the best.
The last time I saw you guys play live, it was November of 2021. It was actually in a church at a place over here in Northern Ireland called Bangor, and it was an acoustic show. And I mean, I mentioned earlier, I love that when you strip it back and you let the harmony shine. What I do remember is what I find hilarious. You kept swearing in the church.
Oh, do you know what? I feel like we swear more when we're not allowed.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, you're not allowed, but it comes out anyway. It's just like really, it's bad. Yeah, we're bad sailor mouths, but we need to get better at that.
But in a weird way, it really sort of lightened and balanced the mood, you know, because the songs were quite serious, you know?
Yes, true. And we do love a sort of light-hearted set, even when we're playing heavy songs. We still want everyone to have an enjoyable time. So it's trying to balance
people laugh.
Yeah.
And so off the back of that acoustic tour, last year you put out this 6-track EP, recorded at Union Chapel in London. I loved your version of John Mayer's Stop This Train.
Oh.
Do you see yourself doing more acoustic-based stuff in the future?
I don't know. I think we'll just have to see. We love the acoustic stuff. Our favourite part of the set is normally when everyone leaves, and it's just, well, it's not the favourite part. It's one of the favourite parts.
It's one of our favourite moments with the audience. When
Yeah,
that happens,
it's very
because
intimate.
you feel more intimate and close with the people that.
And yeah, and it shows sort of, it strips back the inessential and it shows the songwriting at its rawest. So it's always going to be something that we feel very at home doing, and we'll never sort of cease to do it. We'll try and keep a balance, I think.
Well, ladies, you know, continued success. Good luck with the new album, and get back over here soon.
We will.
Yes,
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.